Guys, how y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are the industry, you are rallying around to basically give a eulogy on Drake's career. And baby, so many people got so much to say about what Drake did wrong. But baby, they are literally following Kendrick's lead and taking it down to a dissertation level. None other than Ebro and a few other people. Let's get into this because they make some good points. It's not about the diss. It's not about what Kendrick said, even though he did murder him. It was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the beat, but about the way that Drake has been constantly disrespecting the culture. Baby, let's get into this. Then meet me after the jump because Reagan Gomez, yes, that Reagan Gomez, has some interesting things to say too, and I wanted to read them to you. All right, let's go. Cue up and then stay till the end because it's going to get good. Okay.
That I don't think a lot of people have discussed, and this is important. One thing about hip hop is it's regional.
Yeah.
Geography is important. The map and the areas you own when it comes time for somebody to take your head off is very important in this game. It always has been. What's yours? Jay-Z, Brooklyn, Nas, Queens, Pac, West Coast, Biggie, Brooklyn. Like, you think about all Meek Mill, Philly's mine. Like, these are mine. You can't even fuck with me in my town. When Kendrick dropped They Not Like Us, bro is basically saying, A, I'm from Compton. Like, I'm from this. I don't even make these type of records. Mm-hmm. Never even made one of these before. B, I'm going to own my zone. Literally, I'm going to provide my backyard where I live, where my family's cousins, where I went to school, with a soundtrack for this beef right here.
Defending my home
I'm going to put a flag down to defend my home turf. And on the same song, I'm going to ridicule you about co-opting Atlanta into your shit.
That was the most important part.
So now you can't even go ask them for a sound. And by the way, bro, what is your sound? What is yours? What do you own? Is what Kendrick, I feel, is asking on his song, because this is what I own.
Can I be honest with you? I feel like Drake's biggest lyrical misstep in this whole battle was the line about you always acting like we're about to free the slaves. Like, knowing, I feel like the one thing, Ebro says it all the time, that you feel like he's never stood for anything. The one thing we could get at Drake for as much music as he's given black culture, he's never stood on anything like that. For him to have the balls to say that was crazy. You walk straight into that verse being called a colonizer. That was nuts. To me, that was his biggest fumble in this whole thing. The AI shit, the Pac shit, I know y'all were really upset about it. I wasn't that pressed.
That's what I said.
To me, this was the biggest misstep he's made so far.
To drop a regional specific sounding record.
Yeah, it's something Drake just can't do.
And you gotta realize,
gotcha.
But hold on, Eddie. That is Kendrick's indictment of Drake this whole time. Is that
you don't have identity, you don't have a sound, you don't have a home base, you don't have a region where you can collect the sound, you can cultivate a sound, you can collaborate with a sound and present it to the world.
And furthermore, you're black and you're not even in touch with what black people are really sensitive about, you don't stand for, which is why you brought up the slave shit.
Right.
Or when I talked about the Pac shit, I was like, yo, why you playing with Pac, bro? You're not from that. Like I said that earlier, I was like, yo, that could be problematic for you, bro. Like, don't play with Pac like that. Now you playing with the slave shit?
That was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, this went over a lot of people's head. You got your white mom opening up a record saying, hey, I think you shouldn't use the right after that. What, bro?
Because it goes into, there's so many missteps in this. We already talked about the AI Pac thing, and we keep saying AI Pac like there wasn't an AI Snoop as well. So that's weird.
AI period.
Yeah. There's a slave line, which is weird. And then also, too, don't forget in 2020, All Right was literally the protest song. Like, Kendrick had the protest song of 2020. So to, like, knock that by saying you're making slave music, then you go in, he had the line we talked about, you probably hate pedophiles because you were molested, or whatever the line was, in Mother, I'm Sober.
But that's not even what the song's about.
He's saying he wasn't molested, so you misconstrued that. And also, that was weird already on its own. Like, let's say that was true. That's a weird conversation. Then the line, if I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd be arrested. That's Drake's quote. weird. Like, that's weird, and that's not how the justice system works. And then also, weird, the Millie Bobby Brown just bringing her into it with no one said her name. Like, Drake has a lot of missteps in all of this where you're like, bro, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
The reason Kendrick doesn't like Drake is beyond just, I don't like you as a person, which he said that too.
Plenty of times.
He
Plenty of
doesn't-
times. Plenty of times.
Shout out to
He doesn't
DMX.
like what Drake represents in hip hop.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that this individual basically is not authentic, doesn't represent anything of value to black heritage and black culture, isn't in touch with his blackness enough. And that is a lot. He spent a lot of time on that. And I think that is also an important detail because hip hop, as we know it today, while yes, it is about having a good time and joy and all this, hip hop is an extension of the black nationalist movement. Make no question about it. It is a tool to share information and educate ourselves when the establishment doesn't do so. And also to make sure that we are represented towards each other and for each other. Like, that's a part of what the hip hop thing is and the basis of it. And while it's gone much more mainstream than that, and it's become other things and offshoots and what tangents, etc., Kendrick is rooted in that in 2024. That's a powerful statement that I don't think your mainstream pop hip hop fan will give a fuck, or your hookah smoking club, ass clapping IG thought gives a fuck about. But it's important to someone like myself because this hip hop shit saved a lot of our.
Reagan, again, just literally expanded on this. And I wanted to read you her thoughts. Go ahead and follow her on Twitter because it's really good. She said, and this is why Drake is so pitiful. It's not the fact that he lost the rap battle, because let's be real, he didn't lose nothing. His ghostwriters lost it, unless they part of the ops linking up, right? But it goes deeper than that. It says it's what he did to the culture and how he is atoning for his sins. Reagan says, one side of the beef is so immature and short-sighted. Those one-offs don't matter when the other side was planning the long game. And here we are. She says, that's all I keep thinking about. It was so clear which fans were being centered and spoken to on both sides. Like, bro, if teens that have been rocking with you for most of their lives are all too happy to jump on the BBL Drizzy bandwagon, right? It feels like you've lost them. Or at the very least, they look at you really different. And that makes sense. I don't know if you are ever on teen Gen Z TikTok, but they love finding evidence and dissecting it. Meanwhile, the other side is also not only calling you a culture vulture, but proving the point by your own actions, including during the beef. So now he put out this banger that is bringing the culture together. And Drake's on the outside looking in because he's short-sighted. I cannot believe he disrespected Pac's family like that. But I remember another A-list actress told him no about something recently. I believe that was Halle Berry, and it was a black A-list actress. And she said, don't post that picture of me. And he did it anyway. Those things add up and paint a picture after 15 years. You cannot be mad that people have eyes and ears. Like Kendrick said, Drake, the audience is not slow, right? Said also that slave-ish and colorism-ish and milk and coffee for your self-esteem and white girls and light-skinned sons, like, my guy, who are you talking to? Who is all of that for when the argument against you is that you are not one of us and that your core audience is also not, and that you use a culture that is not yours and you ish on it? Bro, how did no one on his team put the pieces together? But I suppose this exposes who his team is and who his team ain't. This is really fascinating to watch. And folks keep ignoring that female rap fans exist and have been here ever since the beginning. The two sides had very different strategies. And the one blinded by ego used women in a predictable and tired way that was going after him, his wife, saying she had an illegitimate child, right? The other side spoke right to us. The battle plan was just chef's kiss. Did not Kendrick uplift the community And even Drake's kids, when he was like, I'm sorry, did they not uplift him? She said, I don't want to hear about wives. And I thought we'd learned last time not to do that. Well, this is when when he went after Pusha T's wife and Pusha T destroyed him. Why does Drake always go after people's girls is really, really weird. But that's another reason why he's not in the Black culture, because it's not how you do it. Anyway, because of what the world saw happen next. I do not want to hear about kids. By the way, Kay flipped it into not trashing his family, but saying how Drake is terrible to them because of his ways. Guys, listen. And at the end of the day, she says Drake said all this was going to happen on Euphoria. I just want to touch on a few things. I agree. Drake is so not of the culture. I don't even think he realized the trap he was walking into. I think, you know what it reminds me of? How you're around people and they're speaking slang and you think you catch on, but then halfway through you realize that you had no idea what they were talking about. Is that just me? But y'all already been there, right? When you think we're having the same conversation, but there's so many levels to the conversation and only people from the culture, right, can understand. And Drake is not about it, right? Another person actually jumped in and said, so anyway, somebody said, can you imagine they put this effort towards something beneficial? This was the certified lover gal on Twitter, and no shade to her, but I'm sick of people saying this thing, something beneficial. The fact that we have been brainwashed to think that our culture and protecting it is not beneficial. Our culture is America's #1 export. Go out the country. Our culture is what they think American culture is. Our culture is what every ad, every TV show, every promotion pushes. Our culture is actually valuable. And for us to act like, because we've been brainwashed into feeling like our culture is just like child's play, their culture, they built museums around. Their culture, they make us learn in history books. Don't ever let anyone tell you that your culture isn't important and do something more beneficial to the world when we got to sit there in class from 4th to 12th grade learning the culture. Culture is important. Anyway, right? Anyway, Reagan said, I believe protecting culture is very important and beneficial, and I believe that may be the whole point in all of this. She said, protecting it from whom? They actively support deadbeats, women beaters, and criminals. Future literally has babies he won't acknowledge, but the culture embraces him. I think you don't understand what the culture is. The culture is more than just the things that people rap about. Rap is not just the culture. I'm not even going to get it. Anyway, she said, the entire culture and its history is a huge American accomplishment, very specifically a Black American accomplishment. And yes, protecting it is necessary and beneficial. It's okay if you feel differently. Baby, listen. Let me know what you think in the comments. I just know BBL Jersey should have watched his mouth. You can't eat off of us and then want to ish on us at the same time. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.